increased inflationary pressure. Thailand's economic growth will be lower than expected, with a forecast for this year down to 4% from earlier 4.5% forecasted in April, said Laksamon Attapit, ADB's senior country economist. Inflation, on the other hand, is expected to be higher with a forecast of 3.8% instead of 3.5% this year. Forecast next year also went higher from 3 to 3.2%. The recent flooding across Thailand will reduce farm output, while weak recoveries in developed economies and high inflation will dampen the Thai economy, Laksamon said. The ADB also lowered its forecast for growth in Thailand's gross domestic product next year from 4.8% to 4.5%. This has already taken account the fiscal expansionary measures, such as the first-time car buyer scheme, a government policy which promises first-time car buyers to get 100,000 baht in tax rebates. ADB Country Director Craig Stephenson said he understood that the government's spending on various schemes meant it was trying to manage the economy along an inclusive growth path, focusing on the poor. The government has backtracked on some election promises as it has shown to follow fiscal discipline. Whether government spending will lead to a fiscal crisis at this stage is not a foreseeable concern, but it is still to be determined what will happen in 5 to 10 years, Stephenson said. Gold futures fell as the prospect of financial support from China eased concern that the European debt crisis will worsen, eroding demand for the metal as heaven. China is willing to buy the bonds of the nations hit by the debt crisis, said Chang Xiaogang, a vice chairman of the National Development and Reform Commission, according to Beijing magazine. Equities rallied in the U.S. for a third day, and the dollar rose against the basket of major currencies, reducing the appeal for gold as an alternative investment. Gold futures for December delivery fell $3.60 or 0.2% to settle at $1,826.50 an ounce at 1:95 p.m. on the COMEX in New York, after slumping as much as 0.9%. Prices still are up 44% in the past year and touch a record of 1,923.70 on September the 6th, and Europe debt crisis deepened. Moody's Investor Service lowered credit ratings for Société Générale SA and Crédit Agricole SA, two of France's three largest banks by asset. French lenders top the list of Greek creditors. German Chancellor Angela Merkel has said she won't let Greece fall into uncontrolled insolvency because the risk of contagion for countries that share the common European currency is very big. German and French leaders expressed support for Greece remaining in the Euro monetary union. Gold has gained 29% in 2011, heading for the 11th straight annual gain. Silver futures for December delivery gained 66 cents or 1.6% to close at $40.533 an ounce on the COMEX, declining for the third time in 4 sessions. On the New York Mercantile Exchange, platinum futures for October delivery rose $2.40 or 0.1% to $1,815.90 an ounce, advancing for the second straight day. Palladium futures for December delivery fell $7.50 or 1% to $721 an ounce.
And now joining us for an interview is Khun Thipa Nawatanasapt, CEO of YLG Bullion Futures Co. Limited. Good afternoon, Khun Thipa.
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Khun Thipa, can you update us on the latest movements of gold price in the past week?
Yeah, gold price for this few weeks, last week and this week, has been coming down a little bit due to the investors start to seeing gold as not a safe haven anymore because of the volatilities during the past 3 or 4 weeks. So right now, they consider gold as one of the risky assets. So right now, there is some sell-off in gold, and then as you can see that right now the gold is going into the direction between gold and dollar index. So whenever the dollar is increasing, the gold price is coming down.
Okay.
But then when the dollar index is coming down, the price is coming up. So there is a switch between these two asset class very clearly. And also, since the investor haven't seen gold as a safe haven anymore, so for these weeks, we see that there is more selling of gold. So they probably see further drops in gold to the next level of around $1,770 per troy ounce.
So what factors have contributed to this major sellout?
It's just they still believe that they see that because for the past many weeks there is a high volatility of the gold. As we can see that within one day there is a swing between like $60 to $70 per troy ounce. So that makes the gold price become more riskier asset right now for investment. But however, this is just one short term because as we still have a look at the fundamental factors between the crisis in Eurozone and the crisis in USA, we still believe that in the long term, gold price still come back as a safe haven asset.
And Kuntipa, how has the assurance of the European leaders to help Greece as well as China's promise to help the European Union bonds as well as U.S. stimulus sensitive to gold prices?
Right now, like for if you can see for this week and also yesterday, there's a meeting between or a conference within Eurozone between Italy and Greece. Between Germany and France and about like the Greece issues, and then it turned out to be good. So lately we see a lot of good news in Eurozone. So this is also another factor that make the gold price coming down a little bit. However, but then if we still look at the big issues of factors of the Euro crisis, we still believe that for the fundamental factor, it still will push gold to go up in the long term.
Well, let's say looking forward to the end of this year, how would you forecast the gold price to be, and what strategies do you recommend for investors?
So for until the end of this year, we believe that the highest of gold price this year should probably see around like $2,000 per troy ounce level. However, for the short term, we will see some sell-off in gold. So the next level within this week should see around $1,720, and then the next level is near 1,700. That's what we will see first, and then for the strategy to invest, for in terms of short-term investor, they still can buy on dips. However, they should sell off very quick also because of still high volatilities of the gold price. But for the medium-term and long-term investor, right now we still recommend them to hold cash and see for a while, and the good support level for collect the gold right now should be around like 1,700 level.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Kuntipa, for your information on gold this week.
Thank you.
Thank you.